Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second ever Shooting the Shit. We have recovered from our just Death Note incited horrible coma.
Yeah, I mean, it took a lot out of me.
Yeah, dude, we went on vacation. We went to the Bahamas.
I watched Death Note, the real one.
Yeah, we both did. It's really good.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about that. We're talking about a good movie now.
Yeah.
The silliest of good movies.
The greatest.
Top
Top 10. Alright, no,
Of
we're
all-
top 5. Top like 3, dude.
Top 3 of all time?
Yeah.
You got like Citizens Kane and like...
No, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, it's like, it's Battle Royale.
Oh, okay.
It's Dragon Ball Evolution. And it's this movie.
That's your top 3 favorite movies of all time?
Top 3 favorite movies of all time.
So you can see it from the thumbnail, from the title, from the thing. We watched Disney's Sky High.
Yes.
And I can't believe My Hero Academia completely ripped this shit off,
I
man.
know, dude.
It's really similar.
Yeah, he kind of is.
Yeah, but it's, I mean, like, how similar as, like, a superhero thing could be, where, like, okay, everyone gets their own power. They kind of, well, like, they show directly that you can get more than one.
Yeah.
Is he, like, they don't really establish if he's a rare case or anything, because it's not necessary. You know, we're going to harp on some nitpicky stuff. We like the movie, okay?
It's a great fucking movie,
Yeah, it's
dude.
like, probably, like, I need to look up right now if it was a TV movie or a theatrical release.
It was not a theatrical release.
It could have been.
It wasn't. I would have seen that shit in theaters if it
Let's
was.
see. I'm doing it right now here. Say something to the crowd while I...
All right, I'm just gonna rifle through all the greatest movies then.
I'm gonna keep going.
High School DxD, the anime, the movie.
Does
That
it
hasn't
have a
come out.
movie?
It hasn't come out yet, but when it does,
Oh, we're definitely doing that one then. That's... Dude, we're not gonna get views on our weeb shit. Like, we can't keep doing weeb...
I keep bringing up weep shit. All right.
We can't keep, like, bringing up our anime shit. No one's gonna watch this.
Well, you're the one who brought up My Hero Academia.
I mean, shut up. It doesn't really say. Hang on.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
See your generally favorable reviews. I think it says box office figures. I think this was released in theaters.
This couldn't have been released in theaters because I would have seen that shit in
Yeah,
theaters.
I guess I don't know, man. Maybe I should specifically Google was Sky High released in theaters instead of just googling Sky High.
Shit,
Like,
dude, I'm gonna fucking find that shit.
Terrible that we're journalists, kinda, not really.
Not really.
We're not really. We're just kind of dudes talking about something. Just Google, stop freaking out on me right now. It's doing something. Okay, well, it's
So I said like first 3 movies I already said. 4 through 9 are all the Fast and the Furious movies.
Oh.
And
Yeah, dude, this was released in it did well too because it had a $35 million budget and it made $86 million.
damn, not bad.
So yeah, it made like over double its budget. So why didn't this get a sequel?
This is the reboot that we need.
Oh yeah, it's like
Sky High.
we talked about it the other day. We're like, oh man, what's a reboot that we need? And what I told you is we needed a gritty Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. But what we
Yeah.
really need is the resurrection of Sky High.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this could be like the next Avengers. Like fuck the Avengers, fuck DC, fuck all of them. We need Sky High.
We need a return of Will Stronghold.
And his best friend Warren Peace.
I loved his little streaks of red hair. Like that was so like. Do you think he kept it
What?
afterwards? Like his hair, he's like, I just like the way it looks. And apparently, according to Wikipedia, the most trusted source, in November 2016, it was announced that Disney's developing a sequel to Sky High, and the film is in early development stages. So like if that's still going on, it's only been in development like a year. So I mean, like if we don't hear anything again within the next,
I just hope it's not that one shitty sequel where it's like, oh, hey, my son is going to high school now, and I don't know how I'm gonna do. Like, you fuck that shit. I want
yeah.
Will Stronghold back
Yeah.
in action.
He's in college now. When did because this movie came out in 2005. So like
12
yeah, it's been 12 years.
He can be becoming a doctor.
Yeah, oh, yeah, he gave up the whole superhero thing. It's like I did it and I didn't like it. Like I'm becoming a doctor. But you know, you ever notice that in superhero movies or like anything that has powers, the doctors always coincidentally have things that help them doctor.
I mean, why wouldn't you be a doctor if you didn't have a power like that?
I mean, just like, what if like oh man, you have the ability, you have X-ray vision, like that's what the nurse in the movie had, like she had X-ray vision. She could have used that for other things.
Yeah, but what if you have a healing power? Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to fucking in the heat of battle with my healing ability.
They could.
I'm just gonna heal myself.
What
the
if
whole
she's
time.
just really, just like they get their shit kicked out of them and they're like just heal themselves? Like, all right, let's get back into this fight.
Round 2.
It just goes on for hours. The other one gets tired and just like that's how victorious.
That'd be the worst superhero ever.
Okay, so it was not a TV Disney movie. I gotta say, like, it feels like one. Like, if this were released on TV, it'd be the best TV Disney movie.
I could have sworn that it was, because I've never seen that in theaters, and it was always just always show on.
Yeah, I know. I remember I saw it first on TV when I was a kid. But that's weird that it got a theatrical release and did really well. You know, Disney has a habit of taking their successes and running them into the fucking ground. Yeah. So I don't know, like, why. I mean, I guess, like, it made its money back, but it was still pretty low budget. And if any other movie made $86 million, that'd be kind of a travesty, really. Like, I mean, because I don't know, like, Batman vs Superman altogether cost $800 million.
Well, dude, I mean, that's a brand name recognition, dude.
Oh, you're telling me Will Stronghold doesn't hold up?
I'm saying that they could have made Will Stronghold into his own franchise, but they decided not to.
For reasons.
Fucking idiots.
Okay, so let's go through this movie, man. Let's pick it apart.
All right.
All right. So we got our main characters, Will Stronghold.
Yeah.
He's a dorky kid. I believe you said he could have played Light Turner just as well.
Yeah. I mean, dude, anybody could have played that, but like he had the hair.
Yeah. That's all it takes.
Perfect hair.
Oh my god, he did, and like, I really liked how him and Kurt Russell, the guy who plays the dad, which was, did they say his real name?
No.
Well, like the commander, we'll call him.
Mr. Stronghold.
Mr. Stronghold. They look like father and son. Like, they look eerily similar. Mm-hmm. Are they actually?
I don't think so. But I'm surprised how many, like, fucking great stars that they got for this movie.
Yeah, dude.
Because even if it was a theatrical release, it very much feels like the type of thing that would be beneath great actors like Kurt Russell and Bruce Campbell, who comes in later.
Yeah, and like, I'm wondering, like, most of that budget of $35 million must have been paying those guys. He's all like, "Yo, Kurt Russell, I know you're busy, but you want to like wear a dumb red, white, and blue shirt?" Or, "Hey, Linda Carter, I know you're busy. There's another Wonder Woman coming. There's another Wonder Woman like 10 years away.
Yeah,
but
like
you can be a principal." Like, what was it? Mrs. Powers? Was it Dr. Powers? The most like there's some on the nose names here.
Hey, I mean, you gotta hand it to them though. They managed to get Linda Carter to cameo in that fucking movie. She didn't even come out in the Wonder Woman movie.
The actual Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah, people have been waiting decades for.
Yeah, dude. I mean, they could have made her like something. Like, she could have been one of the Amazonian. Maybe she was, and we just don't know it.
Dude, you would have noticed.
Yeah, she's pretty attractive for a lady of her age.
Yeah.
What if we just got really weird about that right now? Like, she's so hot.
You know, Will Stronghold kind of makes this big deal about kissing an older lady, but I mean, I'd do it.
Yeah, I also kiss Will Stronghold. I would kiss Will Stronghold, but I would kiss also. Dude, his mom was really hot too.
Yeah,
like, there were some attractive ladies in this movie. But what were we just talking about? Oh, well, I like how, like, at the end, because there was that thing you mentioned where Linda Carter, like, she puts all the villains in detention.
Yeah.
She puts Ramona Flowers and fucking the principal from Community in detention. And she leaves, and then she has the line, like, "I'm not Wonder Woman, you know." But they don't show any lip sync of that. It's kind of as she's walking out. So I'd like to think the movie was done. And then, like, they were editing it, and then just kind of like, "Yo, this chick was in Wonder Woman. Like, they forgot. They didn't know. It's like, we need a Wonder Woman joke in this. And they kind of recorded later the I'm not
when she turned around, like, they didn't even have her walking out, so they need a body double.
Oh, yeah, they couldn't afford to get her back. Because they spent like $35 million on getting...
They spent $32 million paying Kurt Russell, $1 million paying a couple of other people.
Yeah, just like... And then they had to get Kurt Russell's hair just right.
Yeah.
Because his hair was beautiful throughout this movie.
Yeah, and they gave the kids exposure.
They did. Oh, yeah, because they're such huge stars now. Like, let's see, what else has Will Stronghold been in since 2005? Or did he go that Zac Efron route where he like trashes on it and people get mad at him? You remember that? Like in an interview, someone actually asked him about High School Musical, and Zac Efron got really mad because he's trying to be a legitimate like comedy actor. Because he's, I mean, like, as legitimate as he can, doing all the shitty Seth Rogen movies.
You have to acknowledge your roots, at least.
I guess. I don't know. I was more on his side in the, I did that when I was a shitty kid. I didn't know what I was doing.
Oh yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Like, if someone asks you, just say, hey, this is what I think about that. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to get, like, I don't know, uppity about it.
Maybe. It's because I remember, like, I mean, because everyone else is kind of owning it. Because, you know, they're not doing anything else. When was the last time you saw Corbin Bleu in anything?
Corbin Bleu.
He was the black guy. The one. That's the singular one in that entire... No, there was more. There was the guy who could cook. He bakes.
I never watched High School Musical.
You didn't... We should watch High School Musical.
Dude,
that is the next episode.
I've only watched a little bit enough.
We are watching...
I don't... Fuck you, dude.
Come on. We are watching High School Musical in the next one, and it's going to be
Get your head in the game.
Yeah, you will. You will get your head in the game.
Fuck, if you're gonna make me watch that shit, then I don't have to make you something to watch really terrible.
I mean, what do you have that can break me?
That can break you?
Yeah.
Food Fight?
Oh, do you own Food Fight?
I don't know.
We could do Food Fight.
I don't know Food Fight.
Anyways, Sky High.
There's gotta be a movie that can break you.
I mean, there definitely is. I was kind of screaming when we were watching Death Note anyway. In my dorm.
Halloween Town 4.
Oh, yeah. We're getting there.
The first two were great. Third one was kind of weird because they had added a whole race thing.
Yeah.
And the fourth one ran with it. So Sky High.
Oh, okay. So, alright, really back to the movie for real.
Yeah.
I really liked how, like, the Will and Kurt Russell had, like, a legitimate, like, father-son kind of... They almost really did look alike. And, It just looks great. Like, the movie, like, was extraordinarily directed.
Yeah.
Like more so, like, we haven't seen this movie since we were kids. Like, this was our shit when we were kids, and we were rewatching it. And just how, like, the lighting and everything's so bright and colorful.
Yeah.
It's very not what superhero movies are today.
DC could learn a thing or two.
Yeah, like
even Wonder Woman, that people were like, oh, it's so beautiful. Like, yeah, and then straight in the fucking war.
Oh, yeah. Well, like, you could argue that had purpose because, like, they were kind of showing how gross our world was compared to the Amazon world, because the Amazon world was like, oh my god, it's colorful, kind of. And it's, like, and it's nice, and they go to Britain and it's gross and swampy and like fucking there's always like pollution in the air in these places because there is, but you know they always make sure to film it.
But Sky High knows how to do color.
Yeah, oh my god, it was so bright even when it was dark. Like, there was always, I remember, like, we were shitting on Death Note because their diner was like just so dark, but like, they were in like a very intentionally dimly lit Chinese. Yeah, Chinese. Well, it had fortune cookies. Isn't that Japanese?
No, of course. That's American.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Take it off. They're called Chinese fortune cookies.
Chinese fortune cookies. And like, even then, everything was so nicely lit. Even if, the restaurant was intentionally dark, and it was still nicely lit.
But at the very least, you believe that that's the atmosphere that restaurant was going for.
It was very, like, everything was such a consistent color throughout it. And everyone had their own signature colors, where, like, Zack Attack had, he had yellow.
The Wigger.
Yeah, stop! I told you not to say that.
You said you give me one. You said you give me one.
Get one.
You said you give me one.
You get one. I'll decide whether I want to cut that, but you brought it up in the movie. Can I call him that? And I'm like, no, don't call him that.
You gave me. You said you gave me one.
He was very like, I mean, even at the end where like in the credits when they drew him, it was like he had that like rapper look where he like yeah, and I'm just like, dude, come on, I don't need you Machine Gun Kellying it up in here. You're like stupid back. He's like just like glowing shady, like shady because it's light, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was a good joke in there. I need to work on it.
He's lit.
Yeah. He was fun though.
Yeah.
He was very that kind of awkward, overcompensating kind of character.
Well, at the very least, they ain't try to make him look cool.
Yeah.
Like this character, oh yeah, he thinks he's cool, but he's not, and they very intentionally show that he wasn't cool.
I like how at the end everyone got their own little moment, no matter how small.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like Zach kind of got the least significant one because that vent was a straight line anyway.
Yeah.
So like they like
yeah. Meanwhile, Popsicle kid straight up took out 2 villains.
Yeah, like 2 like that was bullies throughout the entire movie.
And the gerbil saved everybody in the fucking school.
Yeah. Well, Zach just kind of made it easier to see in the straight line vent that we have no indication. Yeah. Like was anything other than just a straight line, but we'll assume it was because we like the movie.
Yeah.
If we didn't like the movie, we'd be nitpicking the shit out of it.
We'd also be nitpicking human-sized vents.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the huge, gigantic vents.
But we're not going to.
Yeah, because we like it. But dude, they were on their knees and their things and their backs were arched up. Those enormous vents.
They still had a little bit of space.
Yeah, I mean they could. Yeah.
He had enough space to pass people.
Yeah, there was like more space like diagonally. It was enormous. I mean, they should have learned a thing from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, where they were constantly in the vents, and they had to be on their stomachs, and my phone, I just dropped my phone. Yeah. Pardon me? Getting the phone.
Whoa, they could have played light, one of them.
What are the Sprouse twins?
Or do it like how they used to do it back in the day, where when one gets tired, they bring in the other one.
No. That was like they full house it up. With but with Light Turner and Death Note?
Yeah.
Are we going to keep bringing up Death Note in every podcast? I'm kind of down.
Yeah.
Just like, man, this movie's terrible, but at least it's not Death Note.
I'm going to bring up Death Note and the Naked Brothers, man.
We're really into, like, old shows from our favorite TV stations right now. Like, just like Naked Brothers Band. We were watching Sky High here. I don't know, did you watch iCarly?
Dude, I fucking hated iCarly. I hated...
Really? I
hated Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I hated all those shows.
Did you really? Yeah. There's no sense... And I didn't like those two. I didn't like Victorious. Oh, dude, I like those shows where, like, I saw the beauty in them. I love those shows. They're guilty pleasures of me to the end. Dude, I love iCarly. I loved Victorious, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I think the only one... I mean, I don't like any of these new ones.
I thought Drake and Josh was pretty good.
Yeah, Drake and Josh was definitely like kind of like the trendsetter of stupid, awkward sitcoms. Like
it's funny that Drake never got laid.
He didn't. He just made out a lot. That's really it, which is lame now that we know. Like
we're adults.
Was it? I don't know. Was it implied that he was sleeping with them at all, or just it was just kind of like he made out?
I'm pretty sure they made it. It was supposed to be like, oh, making out with all these girls kind of like equals to that, but it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't at all. Like when you grow up, you realize it doesn't remotely. He just kind of dated and made out with a lot of them.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I was watching Stand By Me, right, and this one guy was talking about how like his girlfriend's like, oh man, she's a Christian, so she didn't let me have sex with her, just let me grab her boob, and I was like, that's just as good. What, like, why are you complaining? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, again, roommate. We do this in my dorm, and he's work tomorrow.
No.
Right?
We're terrible people.
Give me a thumbs up if you have work tomorrow. He's fucking ignoring me.
He doesn't have work tomorrow.
He might not. He might not have work tomorrow. Oh, if he starts snoring, because he snores like a mother, like more than you, I think.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm bringing that up. I hope you don't mind. I brought that up.
I don't mind.
So, Sky High.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up one more thing. I forgot. I had a thing I wanted to bring up. Okay. I guess if I had a problem with it at all, if we're gonna get into anything about it, is that like there was a lot of things that didn't necessarily get resolved.
Oh yeah.
Like I know, like War and Peace.
Yeah.
As cool as he was, like he was just a legit like fire badass. Like I mean, they had this whole thing where like, oh,
are his clothes fake flame retardant?
They must be the custom made stuff.
So wait, you're telling me that he custom made a leather jacket to be flame retardant?
he's like, yo, dude, I gotta look cool, but it's also gotta be practical for my powers. But okay, so they have a whole thing where like, oh man, your dad put my dad in prison, and that it didn't matter. They didn't have a moment where they sat down and like, yo, we're not our parents or anything like that. It was just kind of like he hated him enough to where he wanted to fight him in the middle of school grounds.
Not just fight him. I think at this point with superpowers, it's like assaulting him.
Yes.
It's gotta be like
attempted murder.
No,
at worst.
What was it? What was it when you like light shit on fire?
Arson.
Yeah, arson. There's gotta be some form of arson.
I mean, he did do that sweet like tray thing. We'll get to that in a second. But like, so like he like starting a fight with him in the cafeteria to meeting him at this paper lantern that he works at for some reason. He is not Asian. Well, I mean,
dude, he only has one.
He's very Taylor Lautner looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like was it Taylor Lautner?
I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
I have to look it up now.
I don't think it was.
Yeah, it's definitely not. But he looks like him, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
I have to look that up now. Because I mean, like you never would have guessed fucking Shark Boy was Taylor Lautner.
His finest work.
I mean, if you compare it to everything, what else is Taylor Lautner? Because Taylor Lautner.
You remember that one shitty action movie he was in?
Which one?
I don't know, but he was like in this one where like I don't remember the name, but he looked at like the computer and some guy's like, "Hey, look, I was just on this random website that shows kids when they're young and when they grow up."
Mm-hmm.
And then look at this, and one of the little kids that was kidnapped just so happened to look exactly like him when he grew up. He's like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, he looks lame now. But it's Steven Strait. See, look at him. He's not nearly as hot.
I mean, dude, he cut his hair.
Yeah, let's see how old. He's 31, so that means 12 years ago he was 19. He was 19 when he filmed that. He was our age.
Yeah.
2005. Well, we were older than 19, but like it's not far off. Like,
I could have played War and Peace.
You could have played Light Turner. You could play all of these. Right? What else has he done? He was in.
We're not the bad guys. We're not the good guys.
Oh, dude, you've mastered that line for sure. He was in. I I remember 10,000 BC.
Oh,
he
that
was
movie sucked.
Oh, you actually saw that?
Yeah.
He like starred in it because he was supposedly in that, according to Google. And Google's lying to me. No, he's like one of the top billed guys in it. He was a delay. But yeah, okay. Taylor Lautner. He did Twilight. He did Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and he was that movie, and he was in Grown Ups too. But
so it's tied between Shark Boy and Lava Girl and Grown Ups too. Then
yeah, really.
Best work.
Really. Poor Taylor Lautner and his terrible movies. Okay, but it wasn't Taylor Lautner. He looks very Taylor Lautner-y though.
Yeah, in this movie he does.
Yeah, so like, but he goes from like beating the shit out of him inside a fucking cafeteria to meeting him at his workplace, sitting there and relating to him with nothing other than he was kind of annoyed by the friends, which they did handle funnily, where like they all just kind of start sitting next to him and they're not afraid of him. He's like, get the fuck away from me. Like, he wasn't one of those like misunderstood bad boys where like all he wanted was friends, really.
Yeah.
He was very like, leave me the fuck alone. I mean, he got over it, but like,
yeah. I think something that kind of bothered me about like not being resolved is that they made it very much seem like being a sidekick was kind of like being a quite literally a minority.
I'm pretty sure they were joking with that, but I
don't know, dude. It got pretty fucking dark, dude.
Yeah, dude. Like, we cracked up so hard whenever like Will had his sidekick friends over, and he was all like, "Man, what would your grandfather thought?" And it was a joke, but also like, are sidekicks like discriminated against that hard?
I mean, it seems like they kind of are. It's like get out of here, sidekick.
Yeah. Oh,
don't have a sidekick. Oh, I want to hang out with the fucking sidekick.
Yeah, dude. Like it went pretty hard, and then when Will had his coming out as a sidekick to his dad, and he freaked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Oh, also.
And then they like strung up that one guy by his neck.
Oh, dude. Oh, Jesus.
He melted away though, so
yeah. So it worked out. Thank God he could do that. And also something really funny we noticed. Okay, so there's a scene in the movie where he's rewarding him for breaking the rules in school because he got powers. So he got him an Xbox, and it was wrapped. And as they were unwrapping it, you can kind of see a hint of green, but they're watching him over a screen, and Jim Rash, principal dean of community, had his head in front of the box expertly through the shot. Mm-hmm. And I'm here saying, like, could they not get an Xbox? Like, not an Xbox, but a box for the Xbox. They didn't need an actual Xbox. I mean, it's a movie with $35 million.
Dude, 32 of that went to straight up Kurt Russell. So they only had $3 million.
They only had $3 million
to work with.
Like, but you're telling me, like, they couldn't, no one on the team, like, hey, you have an Xbox, right? Like, yeah, like, did you keep the box? Like, yeah, I keep all the box.
Who keeps the box, though?
I keep the box. There's like, I might have a closet full of just boxes for a PS4 and stuff like that.
Just in case you need it.
Yeah, you never know.
How often have you needed the box?
We keep the manuals in there.
How often do you need the manual?
You never know when we're gonna need the manual.
When's the last time you used the manual?
Shut up. Anyways, like that's another thing. Like that's another thing that went unresolved in the. I always hate it when movies do this. Whenever they have a whole thing where, oh no, I'm not what my parents want me to be, and not much longer they become exactly what their parents wanted them to be.
Yeah.
And like, for Sky High, they had a record of quickness where it was like, Dad, I'd be happy if I never got superpowers, and then he got 2 of them by the end of the movie. And
well, fuck you then. I'm just gonna hang out with these.
Yeah, so
cool
like,
kids.
It
very much turned into I'm popular, but I don't know how to stay friends with my unpopular friends.
Yeah.
Movie.
While like it cheated. Like movies do this all the time where they cheat, where they have the big moment where like, I don't care what you think, Dad, and then coincidentally they just happen to go in. So oh my God, you could be a free thinker but also please your parents. Thank God. I thought I'd be challenged there for a second. And
you can have your cake and eat it too.
Yay! Do you remember? I was gonna bring up something completely off topic. You remember that old books, Franny K. Stein?
Mm-mm.
It's about that little girl scientist. She's like, I remember her mom told her like, you can't have your cake and eat it too, and she's like, fuck you, you can't. She didn't literally say that, but so she made this machine where she got cake and she ate it, and then she kind of like spit out her saliva and she zapped it, and the cake came back. She's like, I can have my cake and eat it too. Fuck you, Mom.
Dude, if you eat your cake, then you're having it.
They mean have it as in like it exists, like.
So you can't eat your cake and also have it intact fully.
Yeah.
Why would you want that though? If you're gonna have your cake, you're just not gonna. Who stares at their cake, dude? Eat that shit.
Oh my God, my roommate's trying to sleep.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate. And there was that really funny scene where they pulled out the drawer and there was a bunch of phones in it because you broke them.
Yeah.
And another thing, this doesn't matter as much, but it's always something that very slightly bugs me in movies that take place in a school setting that teach things that aren't regular shit.
Yeah.
Like, like Harry Potter and this one. I hate how in classes they only ever do like examples and hands-on like experiments. Yeah. And I'm just like, no, like there's no way that in the beginning of the year or this much into the movie that's not how you teach people things.
I mean, dude, for college we had to take like some bullshit first year courses.
Yeah, like there's no way if we went to the school for like fucking, we wouldn't walk into class like, okay, here's a lady, one of you step up and try to fuck the lady. And when you fail, we're going to make a whole plot thing out of it. That's why we called you specifically.
I failed, but I need to come back stronger.
Yeah, I failed. I was the only person who went up today for some reason. Because that's how group things work.
Yeah, I went up, but then I couldn't get it up.
Oh. You are on fire.
Just like War and Peace.
Oh yeah, they gave him a girl at the end because thank God, right? He needed one.
He totally needed one. But you can't tell me that he wasn't banging the plant chick.
Oh yeah,
just on the low.
Yeah. Hey, maybe that was intentional because he was fire and she was plant. And they didn't mix. But I guess fire and ice doesn't mix either.
Opposites attract. Josh.
Yeah, opposite. He's had 2 opposites. I guess no. I mean, it's just expected of a Disney movie where like women are treated as like kind of the prize at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something. Like, I don't know. I mean, I could
But
get
he's
mad at it.
sensitive, Josh.
He is. He reads fortune cookies. That was so smooth. Like
Yeah.
that was so like I was.
Do you sliding into people's DMs before DMs even existed?
Yeah, man. Definitely. I'm sorry, I'm texting very unprofessional of me right now. I mean, you weren't gonna know that, but you were gonna definitely question the odd silence
And tapping.
and tapping. Oh no, you don't hear the tapping. Could you hear the tapping?
I could hear.
I mean, it's on the mic. Well, I'll hear it. I'll hear it when I edit this.
Just edit loud music over that part.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna put louder music over this now.
Yeah.
Just like I'm really yelling at this right now over the extremely loud, not copyright music background. But you know, it's always like this thing where, you know, there's always a girl there, and she always has a crush on someone, or she's the villain who's a bitch. Or she's annoyingly feminist.
She's a manipulative cunt.
Yes, they do that. That happens today. I mean, like Sky High was a real trailblazer in the having a woman be annoyingly feminist but not follow through in the end. Like the Emoji Movie did it. I don't know if I ever told you that. It was really funny actually. Did we explain? Okay, I'm gonna put the Emoji Movie over this as a side thing. So what the Emoji Movie did was actually turn feminism sexist, which is impressive. So what happened was they got the female emoji being super like feminist and it's annoying. I identify as a feminist too here. Don't tell anything. But I identify as a feminist here. But even I'm like, okay, you're going too fucking far with this. So like what happens is she's being very annoyingly feminist, and at the end, TJ Miller emoji, she asks her to be with her, asks her to be with him. And she's like, you know, I do like you, but I kind of have my own life, so I'm gonna go do that. And TJ Miller emoji reacts like a bitch. Doesn't even let her finish her sentence before he walks away, and just kind of like,
what's your problem? How could she be so selfish
to live her own life
and not be with him when she liked him?
Yeah, I know, right? It's such cuntiness from her.
I know, dude. She's such a bitch.
Yeah, dude.
Why did every girl with blue hair is such a bitch?
But okay, so in the end, she goes to him anyway and spends her life with him anyway.
Yeah.
So like it gives off this vibe of like,
she finally learned.
Yeah, exactly. That's quite literally what the vibe is. Like, okay, you can have your annoying little feminism as long as in the end you give up literally everything from your man for your man, and that's kind of not as strongly. But did kind of happen in this movie where, I mean, she didn't show any active rejection of like being with him, but she was constantly like, whenever they were like, he was all like, oh, if your superhero is scared of himself, and she's like, or herself, and you're like, okay, I get it. Like, I'm all for more feminism in movies, but there's this line of where it's just too easy to where it's just kind of annoying. You might as well like have her like, I can buy my own drinks, snap, 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 or whatever. Give me some real academic feminist theory about the myth.
Did you really expect that from Sky High?
You know what? I don't see why not.
In 2004,
In 2005. You're not giving Sky High enough credit. I'll cut that. We didn't say any names actually.
About what?
I mean, we're just kind of two dudes talking with no names attached to us.
Oh yeah.
Let's use our names. We gave each other aliases. I'm Josh. I don't give a shit. Like Josh and
I'm Ariel.
That's really his name.
Yeah.
That's not how you pronounce it, but it's just
basically my name.
Ariel.
Yeah. Actually, every time I keep shooting out ideas, but Josh doesn't want to go with them.
I'm sorry.
Doesn't want to call me Icarus. Doesn't want to call me Death Gun.
I'm not gonna call you either of those things.
How about Death Gun?
I'm not gonna call you that.
Duragon. Red Duragon.
I'm not gonna call you anything English. Okay. Like, they actually call it that, don't they? Like I think like with like Asian people in general.
Well, they can't say English.
They just legitimately can't. So Sky High, We should, like I mean, whatever. We need to fill out time here.
Yeah.
And we're doing this because we weren't sure if we could do a good movie.
Yeah.
Because we talked forever. We very seldomly we did do it, but very seldomly went off topic when talking on Death Note. But it's kind of because there was so much. There was so much bad. But Sky High is just good.
It's a really good movie, despite all the shit we've given.
Yeah,
about feminism.
Yeah, I can give shit to everything with that because we've only recently been doing a decent job at it. I mean, come on, it's like a sport to me. Like it's like, oh man, this is sexist and this is racist. Like this, it's just a sport to me at this point.
I don't know. Oh, that kind of reminds me of Life is Strange Before the Storm. Like it's very much like the first movie was the first game. I mean, was kind of like sort of pushing that, but like they're just going fucking full throttle with it.
Yeah, and really, I haven't played it, so don't tell me too much.
I'm just gonna tell you this one part that I thought was hilarious.
So I do love Life is Strange. You do not.
It's dumb. Anyways, I'm not gonna spoil it, but like, it's very funny because like it seems very intentional. Where where the girl's talking to David.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Hey, do you know what a spark plug is?" And she's like, "Yeah, I do." And he's like, "Well, you see, a spark plug is what you use for." And she's like, "I told you, I know what it means." So it's like very clearly like, okay, mansplaining, but like if somebody tells you, "Hey, I know what that is," I mean, I feel like you kind of assume like they did.
Yeah, I mean,
but like with mansplaining, I thought it would be like, oh, you just start explaining to her without assuming that she doesn't know it at all.
Yeah.
Like if I just went up to you and it was like, "Hey, Josh, I'm gonna tell you what a spark plug is," assuming you don't know
exactly.
it.
That's what mansplaining is.
But no, it's like he tells her. Yeah, so it's kind of like
it's very him just very blatantly like disrespecting her intelligence. Like that's not even that's worse than mansplaining, I'd say. Where it's like it's one thing if I went up to because honestly, like I mean,
you can tell what narrative they're trying to push.
Yeah. I mean, I would need to see it. I think that sounds like something that might work. I need to see it. I'll see if it's annoying. That's worse though, because like I mean, I don't like defending men too often, but like it's this thing where sometimes a man does it. I mean, out of like subconscious disrespect, but like actual consciously, they legitimately think you might not know and they want to inform you. I don't ever actually give men that credit, but if we were, that would be it. But to like go up to a person like, "Hey, you know what a spark plug is?" and they're like, "Yes," and to like, "I don't believe you, I'm gonna tell you anyway." That's just rude as shit. Yeah. But
how do you feel about manspreading?
Manspreading?
Yeah.
What is that?
This.
Oh, yeah.
If I just pointed to my legs and how we're just sitting normal.
And I just looked at his legs.
Yeah, look at my crotch.
Yeah, I do that. People hate me because I do that when in cars. And like, I don't know, man, just weird. We have shit there. Well, I mean, so do they. Like,
not sticking out.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I just think it's kind of funny. Like I understand like some people are kind of assholes about it.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, like if you're just sitting that way, then yeah. But if you're fucking like rubbing your crotch,
or you're like making a conscious effort to like actually stretch your legs out.
Don't be a dick, really. Like we can go on.
That's kind of like the main story of Sky High. Just don't be a dick.
Yeah, I mean that. Ramona Flowers was very much a dick in this movie.
Yeah.
She was a good villain though. Like it's kind of like thing where like you look at Mary Elizabeth Winstead, like she was like in Ted Cloverfield Lane, which was my favorite movie of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's just a legitimate actor, who's done like very critically acclaimed films. She was in fucking Sky High, dude. Like,
they're fucking launched.
The biggest star from Sky High probably. I don't know, Jim.
Yeah, she is way more famous than Kurt Russell and Bruce Campbell.
You know what I mean?
And like, Tom Kinney
of the newbies in that one. Of like, she's definitely more famous than fucking Will Stronghold or Stephen Strait, War and Peace, or any. Or
are you telling me that War and Peace is not your favorite actor from this movie?
No, actually, I think it was probably. Well, I don't know. It looks really fun to play a hammy villain.
Oh yeah,
it always does. And like, I guess it could have been hammier, like Jim Rash, who was the little sidekick, just like like just kind of like he was really into it. Like you could, like his character was so bit part.
Yeah.
But he owned it. Like I remember like watching like Mary Elizabeth Winstead just talking, and like he's just there. He's curling his fingers. He's like moving his lips and his eyes around. He's just owning that character, even though he's doing nothing.
I mean, this movie's very clever too.
Yeah.
Like, not all the jokes land, but most of them do.
Yeah, dude. Let's see. Favorite jokes. I already mentioned the telephone thing where the commander could not like fucking type it without breaking,
Yeah.
so they have like a bunch in there. That whole scene with my favorite scene has to be the saving the citizen. Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just a really cool, like action scene for what they were given, and it's very hammy. Oh, the movie was beautifully shot. I think we mentioned that, but it's beautifully shot.
I think the best part though, like even though it's hammy, it knows what it's going for.
Yeah, definitely.
Like very much making fun of corny superheroes.
Yeah. Especially like with the bullies, like the way they're dressed. Like the guy had like the purple and black like
Yeah.
shirt under long sleeve shirt with the regular shirt on top. You know, the thing you do when you're in middle school. Like, dude, you remember being in school and like, I don't know. For me, it was a really big deal when I could wear a long sleeve shirt underneath my short sleeve shirt. I remember being so stoked. Like, it was just the right kind of cold where I didn't need a jacket.
I never did that.
You did it?
I either wear a jacket or I don't. I go hardcore.
Oh,
Renegade.
yeah, you're just too hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of good action scenes. Like, I guess they were kind of awkward because they were kids, like, essentially.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, man, just the way they shot it, or the way people flipped and hit things, it
Yeah.
felt very like it had a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Just everything was bright. You could see everything versus Batman vs Superman, where they're kind of sluggishly like, "Ugh," and everything's dark. And
Sky
like,
High has
yeah.
better direction.
Yeah, and
than-
oh my, then Batman vs Superman, the $800 million costing movie.
Yes.
Yes, has literally.
You know how amazing would this movie be if it had $800 million?
Oh, dude, like just like I mean, there's think of all of the movies that would be
Deserve that
yeah,
money.
deserve that much money, and they gave it to Batman versus Superman. We should do one on Baby Driver
Baby Driver.
because I think we need to like.
Dude, the whole thing is just gonna. The whole hour and a half is gonna be about the ending.
Yeah, pretty much. So, just like me saying stuff and you being like, "No, I didn't mean it like that." Like, it's funny. I posted on Twitter my letterbox list. Follow me on Letterboxd. Like,
You know what you should do?
what?
Just like, instead of do the Gazorp joke from Rick and Morty, and just
But put Baby
put
Driver.
baby like fuck you, baby.
Drive. But fuck you,
Fuck
baby.
you, baby. You weak, pathetic, white guilt-heavy piece of human garbage.
That would be brilliant. But yeah, I mean, like the movie
Yeah.
was brilliantly shot. Like, I mean, like again, not brilliantly. I mean, it's exaggerating, but I love the way like there was like the lighting, where there was always like this cool
Yeah.
formation of lights in the background. They did Dutch angles much better than a lot of movies do. They maybe overdid it a bit.
Yeah.
But like every Dutch angle felt like you were supposed to have this sense of wonder in the shot, where when they first enter the bus and the angle that Ron Wilson, bus driver, was that his name?
Yeah.
like was there. He was looking up at them, but like there are some points where it's just like, okay, come on, keep it straight, it's fine.
Yeah.
But like during the fight with the cheerleaders, during like it was like it just worked because you were kind of just following the action in a good way, and it was edited very well.
It feels much more like a comic book than the Avengers or any of the Marvel
Oh
movies.
yeah, which just feel like very flat movies.
Yeah.
Like, because God knows, like one of the biggest issues with the Marvel movies is how like flat they look. There's
Yeah.
no like cool shots or
I
anything.
mean, even Marvel is not nearly as colorful as it should be.
yeah, it should be more. I mean, like even like think of like Captain America's suit, where like it's a very dull blue.
Yeah.
It's more colorful than fucking Batman vs Superman or
Oh,
anything DC. But then again, like
But like
black
if
and
you-
white movies.
If you compare the final fight scene in Sky High versus the final fight scene in Civil War, Civil War is just like in a boring gray airport.
Yeah.
And this one, it's like at a school dance.
Yeah,
where
the
lights
the
are
disco
shining.
ball, and the lights, and like everything's like dark and appropriate, and everything's like bright
Yeah.
neon blue.
And the villain uses electricity, so whenever she fights him or tries to punch or throw something, it lights up.
yeah, dude. And then they had like sparks everywhere when she hit thing, and she breaks up tables and stuff. It's cool to look at.
Yeah.
It's this kind of thing where like, and especially since like it looked very practical too.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that might be the difference.
yeah, like there was very little CGI. Even like you mentioned it, like when War and Peace threw the fireball and like Will blocked it with a tray. It wasn't just broken in half. There was a hole first, and then it got
was melting off.
Yeah, and it got gooey. Like you can see like little goo flap around at the end. Like it all looked very practical, and that's what made it like look great. It looked real. It wasn't, obviously.
I mean, of course, but yeah, that's the problem with nowadays. Superhero movies have to be super grand, super huge. So it's all CGI. You sort of lose some of the impact.
Mm-hmm. And it's definitely, people should experiment more with having both, because that's generally like the best movies have a combination of both. Especially special effects wise. Think of like Jurassic Park. It was a huge deal. The recent Star Wars movie where it was a perfect combination. Star Wars Episode 7 was a perfect combination of practical and CGI. And like this movie, like it just nailed that aesthetic of having like just practical effects. It looked like a cool, like ambitious, like passion project.
Yeah.
Like that's what the people who made it clearly love superheroes, and they wanted to make a cool, relatable thing about like just like mixing high school with superhero stuff, and it works because it's very aware. Because we were bagging on Death Note because it had a lot of traditional high school cliches, but it was taking itself so seriously. Like
I mean, everything was very intentional, even especially like the bully, the fat one.
Yeah,
he's super fast.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Yeah, that's funny. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Very intentional.
Or like when we're like in the beginning, the visual gag where he uses his laser visions to hit the girl's butt. I don't know what he gained from that, because it's supposed to be the pinching the butt, but what makes the pinching the butt cool is that you're touching it. So I don't know what he gains from hitting laser vision on her butt.
Maybe he has psychological issues he needs to work out.
Maybe. So, but then she like freezes him right back. It's just so self-aware.
Yeah.
It's so, and like not in one of those like really wacky like, man, look at that cliche. Like.
Yeah, I think it's self-aware but smart enough to do something with it.
Yeah, exactly. Like it isn't like constantly like winking at the audience like, hey, we know it's stupid. Yeah, like, it's stupid, but it's owning it. Like
like something I think was really great. It was a really small moment. You could, if you blink, you miss it. It's the very beginning when Will's dad walks in. And the plant girl's sitting there, and she's just like, "Oh, hello, Commander." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And then she points to his eyes, like, "Oh, I'm not wearing my glasses." And then he puts them on. It's like, "Oh, so you can tell who I am without the glasses." It's very small, but it works.
Yes. Oh my God. They did not do that in Batman vs Superman. We just harp on shit like just like
Batman vs Superman. I think the worst part is if you compare it to the original Superman. In the original one, Clark Kent and Superman, two very different people. Mm-hmm. Clark Kent is like a nerd. He's very awkward. He wears very baggy clothes, so he doesn't look big. So if you saw that guy, no one would ever think that guy's fucking Superman. Uh-huh. But in the new one, he's just fucking super ripped, looks like a model and shit.
Yeah. Fucking, what is it, Henry Cavill?
Yeah.
Awful. I'm not sure how, what's the word? Like, unpopular this opinion is, or how much, like, maybe I'm being contrarian or something. I legitimately think Henry Cavill is, like, the worst part of these movies.
He's a bad Superman.
Yeah, he's an awful Superman. Like, just in general, he looks like a gross, like, fucking block of wood that, like...
Well, the suit doesn't help.
Yeah, it looks silly. I mean, like, there's so much bad about them. And just, like, Henry Cavill is just so bland and terrible in the role. Like, dude, you're Superman. Like, fucking be fun.
He's a man of fucking steel.
Yeah, I have to assume that's directing. I don't know. I haven't seen anything else Henry Cavill's been in. I don't know anything else Henry Cavill's been in. But just like the fact that he's playing fucking Superman so boringly.
I mean, dude, like, Kurt Russell is supposed to be like the Superman equivalent of this movie, and he does a great job. But like, he doesn't act like, whenever people make fun of Superman, they usually make him like a super dumb guy.
Yeah.
But like, Kurt Russell, he wasn't dumb. He was just kind of a little I guess laid back. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was laid back.
He was a goofy dad.
Yeah, he was a goofy dad, but he wasn't like dumb. Like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, look at me.
Yeah.
Oh no, what is that?
He came in. He was all like, I saved the world, and then make a mean tuna salad sandwich. Who wants one? And you're just like, he's like a cool
Yeah.
guy. He's dorky, but he's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's a dad.
Yeah, he's a dad, and it works.
Yeah, he has character.
Yeah, it's something like a lot of the characters were pretty one note, but it was just enough for what the movie was doing.
Yeah.
And like it's this kind of thing where everyone like it never didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like you understood why Will was doing this thing. In fact, like what I really liked is they didn't even have that generic moment where like the main character who goes from nerd to cool, where his entire personality changes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like Will was always the same guy. He was just kind of thrusted into it. And the minute he realized shit was going wrong, he dumped it.
Yeah, he didn't know how to handle the situation.
Yeah,
that's why he failed. He just didn't turn into a jagoff.
Yeah, he wasn't this megalomaniac who just kind of randomly like, oh, I'm cool, I'm the best. Like he was very like, oh, he's awkward. I can't do it. I like this girl. I think she likes me.
I think also the girl also gave him a very good reason not to invite his friends to the party.
Yeah,
because they're just like, do you think they'd really have fun with all these people they don't really even talk to? It'd be kind of awkward, wouldn't it? That's a legitimate point.
Yeah, like I know that like we have friends who like doing stuff like that and then invite us, and we're just like, we're just not those people.
Yeah, it's not our scene.
Yeah, it really isn't. Like, it's nice that they thought of us.
Yeah, we're just like doing this shit.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, there's parties going on right now, probably. We're in college.
Yeah.
Like, there's parties going on right now. What are we doing? We're talking about Disney's Sky High.
On a Thursday. Oh, yeah, dude, my fucking roommates woke me up on like a Thursday night.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no. Or I think it was like Friday morning, I guess, or something like that. They were just fucking drinking and shit.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's what we're saying. We're not those people.
But yeah, it was very self-aware high school, so it felt more real. And it's like you kind of like, in a way, you could relate to what was happening because it wasn't so heavy-handed.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminds you, like, I did kind of encounter that in high school, and it wasn't that big a deal. Versus like something like Death Note or anything else that presented high school as such as heavy-handed, like, oh, no one understands me kind of thing. Where you're like, I definitely didn't feel that.
I mean, to be fair, there were those types of kids at our school.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we just weren't one of those rich kids. I'm sure there was. I mean, there's definitely some edgy high school kid right now who loves that Death Note movie.
Yeah.
Who adores it.
I think the problem is that it's the only thing that we ever see from high school movies.
Oh, yeah.
Is the loner, the weird kid.
Mm-hmm. When high school just isn't like that anymore. Like, high school...
Definitely not. I mean,
high school is so integrated now. In fact, I know more shitty nerds than I do jocks. I've very seldomly met, actually, any asshole jocks.
I mean, when we were in high school, like, yeah, they had the cool kids or whatever, but we didn't care. We didn't want to be them.
Yeah,
they didn't bother us.
Yeah, like, maybe it did at one point. Like, I know, like, I rewatched Freaks and Geeks recently.
Yeah.
And, like, some of the stuff that, like, was considered nerdy in the late 70s is weird. Because, I don't know, again, like, I'm not sure, like, who made Freaks and Geeks or how old they are. But one thing that always struck me as odd is that in Freaks and Geeks, it's really nerdy to like comedies. Like it was a really nerdy it was a really nerdy thing. Like they were constantly presenting how people didn't care that they loved Bill Murray.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird because if you said now like everyone knows Bill Murray,
mm-hmm.
like he's one of the icons of comedy in our day. The idea like Leslie Nielsen was another one where like because I know that I think they went to go watch Stripped or something. Yeah, or like something like that.
Okay. To put it into perspective, how good we have it, or we had it in high school, we would play Yu-Gi-Oh! Out in the open on a daily basis, and nobody ever told us shit.
In high school, we were seniors.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one ever gave. In fact, a lot of dudes would come up to us like, "Hey, I used to play this shit," and like they didn't join us or anything because they had some sort of credibility. But we never once ever got picked on for it, which is something you very much would have back then.
Not even back then, just like fucking 10 years ago maybe.
Yeah. So it's always better, like, Sky High nailed it, where they presented high school with its cliches, but presented it in a very, it's not a huge deal way, which is the best way to go about it, because regardless of how bad you had it at high school, like, unless you experienced some really uber bad stuff, very little of it mattered.
Mm-hmm.
So when you present high school in that way, I'm more willing to accept your relatableness, and Sky High nailed that. even with its whole superhero-ness to it. Because even like there's even like small things like when they were in science class and like they built like the beam. Like, the guy was all like, "You've confused lasers with beams," and like then he was like, and it's like he was like, that's the exact kind of like science shit that you actually fall for. It was all like, we're just like, oh, this is like a fucking like photosynthesis. I'm like, oh no, fucking photosynthesis is the eating. I'm looking for chlorophyll, which makes the shit green, and you're like, the fuck, man. Like it's you feel it.
Yeah.
You feel it, and then you like have like the sidekick class where he's just silly and lame like an actual teacher. Like there was that one scene where he learns Will Stronghold's name by checking the clipboard, and I'm like, does he have like was there assigned seating? Like, how did he find the name?
It's possible. Either that or they just have their ID next to him.
Yeah, it must be. Or when he was talking to the girl, and when he was talking to Ramon Flowers. And he was all like, we should talk about it over lunch. She's like, I eat lunch. It was a really funny movie.
Yeah. Again, very clever.
Yeah.
Very clever.
Everyone just did a good job involved. One of my favorite shots in the movie was like, when they were having the cafeteria fight.
Yeah.
And when they had him thinking about what to do next, they did those cool swirling zooms into like the fire alarm and into like where he was, stuff like that, and like when he was crawling under the table and fucking, it was just a really chaotic like fight scene because the camera was spinning, it was going everywhere. Fucking War and Peace was doing that, like screaming, charging on his fire.
That always kind of bothered me when I was a kid, though.
Yeah.
Because like I would watch like Avatar: Last Airbender, and I was like, you could probably come up with something better to do with fire than just set your arms up.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, think of like the movie
where it's like just breathe fire, or like
the Last Airbender,
or like send like a Kamehameha ball of fire.
Well, he did that. He would throw like
he would just throw individual balls of fire.
He could light it with his finger, like when he lighted up the candle, all smooth like.
What I would have done is I would have just let the fist up and fucking
just punch.
Go at it, dude. Like
flame punch.
Yeah, I mean. He could take a fucking punch, though, dude.
Yeah, dude.
He got sent through a concrete wall into a beam, and he's like, "Yo, I'm good."
Yeah,
War and Peace could have beat the shit out of Will Stronghold in a fist fight, but instead he just threw fire at him.
Yeah, dude. If he would have just straight up he literally just discovered his power, so he has no idea how to fight. And they even made a joke about it where he's just like he lifts up his hands in like a really nerdy, I have no idea how to fight like way. Well, we're approaching an hour.
Nice.
And like I just think there's a lot. We liked it a lot, and like we have some difficulty talking about good stuff. Not a lot. We did go off on trail, but this was fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, like it's this kind of thing where like if of the 8 of you that watch this, if you enjoy like us just talking about good movies while transitioning from shit to shit. Because that's just what we're doing here.
Yeah. I mean, and this might sound kind of like nerdy or whatever, but this actually was kind of like a big inspiration for me when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah, because I fucking loved it. I was thinking, sort of influenced my perception of superheroes. Like, they don't need to be too serious.
Yeah, that's true. Like, especially now, like you just watch this like in comparison to now, or even like Marvel, where we give it praise for being not as serious as DC. It's still like you can lighten up a little bit, like there's like you're so into like Cap and Iron Man's bromance, where like they have that scene where it's almost a little gay, but it's okay because I love it. Where it's just kind of like where Cap is with Bucky, and he was all like, "He's my friend. What do you want me to do?" And Iron Man's like, "I thought I was your friend." And I'm just like, I'll just all of you fuck like right now, just intense male 3-way between Bucky.
Yeah. And despite what people say about Marvel, like, oh yeah, it's a lot brighter than DC, it's still not bright.
Yeah, Marvel isn't perfect. We like, just because DC's so bad, like, we give Marvel like more credit than
like Iron Man, like the Iron Man versus Hulk fight, like when he's like in the Hulkbuster. Like this, it's supposed to, in the comic book it would be bright red and yellow versus bright green. Yeah, and it's just it's a muddy green against some dulled down colors in a desert or sort of like.
It was a very desert. I mean, like
No, it was like India, I guess.
yeah, it was something like it was some Middle Eastern city.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
You know, what was another thing that this movie did?
what?
Minimal collateral damage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know it was maybe just kind of like the set things, but it's always like superhero movies are so into just destroying everything.
Hey, they actually made a joke about that.
Yeah.
At the very end, because like when Tom Kenny, I think, and the wife was like saying, "Hey man, we didn't even have any insurance. We ain't put any insurance on the homeowner or moving insurance."
Yeah.
But they ain't break a single thing. No collateral damage whatsoever. And then and then he lands
Yeah.
on the house with the thing. So it's like, oh yeah, they made it a point to show that nothing was destroyed.
Yeah, like, these superhero movies are so into destroying everything, and I mean, like even like the cartoons would do it too, but it's just
Yeah.
cool where like you have there's a very down to earth fight that doesn't result in gigantic buildings
Actually,
getting fucked up.
And the stuff that they do break, they acknowledge it immediately.
Yeah,
Like, dude, you almost destroyed the cafeteria. You can't be doing that.
exactly. Just dude, like it's yeah, I hadn't even really thought about it like in comparison to like current superhero movies, but it really just works much better than a lot of the ones that come out
Yeah.
now do. And it's because it was riddled with like Disneyisms and like
It feels like a comic book movie.
yeah, exactly. You feel it. And see, we're gonna end on that nice little note.
Yeah.
'Cause we loved it. It was really fun. Because
Yeah.
we came in here and we're like, let's pick like a serious movie for us to have a discussion with. Like, nah, fuck no. Like
Sky
yeah,
High.
Sky High. It was on Netflix. We love it. It was like there was a thing. It was nostalgic almost too,
Mhm.
and I hate nostalgia. Yeah, but it felt good. But thank you for joining us. If you joined us to talk about Sky High, you're probably a pretty great person. Like, and thank you, and continue having a good life. And catch you next time. Goodbye.
Stay dandy.